Welcome to another episode of this Facebook series on long-term care. This is, as we have mentioned several times, a very important topic, and we are covering it slowly, because we don't want to cover too much. I have two guests with me today, and I am very thankful to be able to call on them, and they readily say yes, and they have great information for you, and we're going to get to the topic. The topic today is the cost of long-term care. This is very important, super important, I might add, because there's just too many moving parts. But the nitty gritty of things comes when you talk about the cost. So we're gonna let me review, if you don't mind, just again things that definitions of what we are talking about. So we're talking about a kind of care that, for the most part, is not covered by regular insurance. It is a range of services and supports that help with activities of daily living. You can see on the screens those activities: bathing, dressing, toileting, transferring to or from bed or chair, care for incontinence, and eating. It can also include instrumental activities of daily living. As we have covered in the past, this can happen at home. This can happen at community support services, such as adult daycare services centers, and it also can happen outside the home in nursing facilities. It's just an array of places and services. So it depends on budget. It depends on many factors. So let's get started with this matter of cost, and I'm going to call on Jamie Flesher. You are with the Alliance Care team, and you are the founder of that Alliance team. And thank you so much. Help us understand, what are we talking about when we talk about cost, especially when it comes to the home and community-based settings. Take it away, Jamie.
Thank you, David, for having me on the show again. And I'm glad that you're covering this topic, because a lot of people think that Medicare will cover for long-term care, but unfortunately they don't. Long-term care is covered by Medicaid. However, Medicaid has their Arizona long-term care services that they offer, and but you have to qualify both medically and financially to be on Arizona long-term care, and they contract with home care agencies to provide the services. And right now, they cover for homemaker and attendant care services at around $21 per hour. But if you don't qualify for Arizona long-term care, you have to either pay for it through private pay, or if you have a long-term care insurance policy that covers it. There's also the VA aid and attendance coverage as well. But the average cost for attendant care services or caregiving services is right around 25 to 30, or even beyond $30 per hour for private pay.
So this would be somebody who directly calls an agency and calls for a caregiver to come to someone's homes. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yes. If you call an agency, that's the range of what they will quote you for cost of care.
And we have here adult day health care. How popular is that? And the cost that we have here is approximately $14 an hour, or $80 per day. Is this common that people also use adult day? Because I understand that 80% of caregiving happens at home by mostly by a family member. That's a high percentage. So that leaves the remainder 20% for other services. So what else can you say about adult day health care?
I think it's another really good option. I have colleagues that are, in the adult daycare industry, and it's affordable because you're sending your loved one to a care center, it's not one-on-one care, but they do provide, medication management. Will give medication as needed throughout the day when the individual is there. Some adult daycare have showers and can also offer, showers as needed, but some don't. But they'll offer a meal, and it's a group setting, so the cost is less. So it's $14 or higher per hour, or $80 per day, and you can opt to go every day, Monday through Friday of the week, or 3 days a week. So that so this is a good option for respite care for family members that are taking care of their loved one at home.
Thank you, Jamie.
Altex,
sorry, go ahead.
Altex will cover adult daycare as well.
Got it. And we will be coming back to the individual aspects of how you pay for, like insurance, right? Altex with and all those other forms of fame, for ways that you can use to pay. We will be doing shows like that. So thank you so much. Let's come to Rich now. And obviously, the home base, community base is one aspect. It could potentially, actually, it is the less expensive. But what happens, Rich, when we move to this other arena, right, of assisted living facilities, nursing home care, a lot of considerations, the cost? Take it away for us, please.
Well, when you move out of the home or out of the adult day center, you move to what they call institutional care, assisted living homes and centers, nursing homes, and your cost escalates dramatically, or it depends very much on what kind of insurance you have, whether you are being covered by Access or Alltech, or whether you're being on the Medicare program and qualified to use one of those facilities, whether you have a private long-term care insurance policy. But if you're paying privately, because you have none of those, the cost is enough to bankrupt almost everyone.
Wow. Can you go over just what we have on the slide in terms of the cost, and kind of describe the scenarios for us?
Well, assisted living facilities in Arizona come in two different types. They're called assisted living homes, which are 10 beds or under, and those are usually in private homes, and they are less expensive than what you see on the screen. When you get to a center, they are usually run by much larger groups or companies. They are 10 beds or more, but they're usually in the vicinity of 100 to 120 beds. They are semi-private as well as private accommodations, but most are private. And they will run about $44,000 a year. But they also offer a whole laundry list of other services that you pay for in addition, so you can very easily double that cost depending on what additional services you might want. Nursing homes are much the same way. There are two types of nursing homes. One is called a skilled nursing facility, and those are Medicare rehabilitation centers or offer very intensive medical coverage. They are for the most part, direct care from a hospital where the person has received initial care and been there for at least 3 days before they are transferred in. If you don't meet those criteria, you aren't on Medicare, horrendously expensive. They usually run you anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000 a month or more, depending on what kind of illness and or medication and or rehabilitation services you require. Again, long-term care insurance is very helpful, but very few people have long-term care insurance.
Right. So basically, once somebody moves out of the capacity to pay it for cash, small scale kind of thing, it gets very expensive. And if a person does not have the ability to qualify for Altex or does not have long-term care insurance, they're going to have a lot of money, or else it's just not going to be able to pay for it. Correct?
Well, what you find in both assisted living and nursing homes, many people do not qualify for the Access or Alltech, which is the long-term care piece of that program. However, they spend down, is what it's called, and they may have money to get by for a month to a year.
Right.
But then as their resources diminish, then they become qualified for those programs and they can apply and be taken care of. There are other ways to do that, but that's the primary way people get qualified. About 70% of all people in institutional care are on the Alltech or Access program within a matter of months.
And we will be getting into all the details of that, how to spend down, how to apply for the Altex programs. And then you have this trust, reverse mortgage. I mean, there's just different ways that you can get money that you probably already have to pay for this in the different scenarios, of course. Let's move on now. We're doing very, very good time in our show. We don't like to make them this too long, but we're doing really well. Jamie, just to end, from your perspective, where can people find caregiving services? This is going to be more for the home base, for the home-based, community-based scenario, and then I'll ask Rich to cover for the nursing facilities. Go ahead, Jamie. Please help us understand where people can get this kind of services. And if you can unmute your mic, that would be great. Yeah, thank you.
So the best website for people to visit to find caregiving services is the Arizona In-Home Care Association. You have their AZNHA.org. It will give you a list of agencies. It will also let you know whether or not the agency accepts Altex clients as well. And then we have the Arizona Caregiver Coalition website, which is azcaregiver.org. That's a great website for family caregivers to go on to get resources and support. I do want to say that I know they had this last year. They have vouchers, respite vouchers that they can offer to family caregivers for reimbursement, and they had a 50% reimbursement up to $1,000 for home modification and assistive care technology devices like a personal emergency response system. Again, there are some qualification, but do contact them if you can use some respite care services.
You are, I don't know if, I think you were a co-chair of a coalition of agencies that provide caregiving services. Is there a place where that coalition can be contacted?
Yes. So I'm the founder of the Alliance Care Team, and our website is alliancecareteam.org. And there are resources on the website. And I will add, due to your request today, David, add some of those adult daycare center resource as well.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. And Rich, when it comes to nursing facilities, how difficult it is, where can people find places or on the web, and then we have a phone number to find this kind of institutions, facilities?
Well, the government websites are probably the most reliable way to evaluate what kinds of care are in institutions, how well they're performing, and what they're doing. The other way, of course, is you go and visit and you go take a look. You let your nose guide you. You come in at various hours, you talk to various people, you see and evaluate yourself. But you start with the CMS website, that would be one of them, and the Medicare.gov website. Those allow you to pick the kind of facility you might be looking for. And from that, you can then also go to those facilities and start evaluating what they're telling you about themselves online, as well as what the regulators are telling you about how well do they perform. There is also the Access website, which is probably really critical because of the high cost for people to check out. They have some basic cheat sheets, I call them, 1 or 2 pages of what the programs are and how do they, who can qualify for them in broad terms. And that way you can figure out between the resources you have and what those programs are if you stand a chance to qualify. If you do, it is a very effective way to get institutionalized care if you need it.
Perfect. Rich Stephen, licensed nursing home administrator. He is retiring. He's an AARP volunteer. Jamie Flesher, Alliance Care Team founder. Thank you so very much for making time to join us and share this valuable information. I will be calling on you as we develop more topics related specifically with your expertise. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Jamie.